Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I will be bringing you another Dota 2 presentation, and joining me will be Ventura. Ventura, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I am fantastic. And today, we will be watching the match for the 29th position on Cybergamer Ladder. InVidious eSports will be defending against Time for Adventure, who are sitting 55th on this ladder. So far, Time for Adventure have banned out that Batrider, and InVidious eSports have taken out that Wisp. So, Time for Adventure do take out that not Lycanthrope, sorry, the Lone Druid. And we still got quite a few heavy hitters left in the pool. We got a Lifestealer still up and running. Got a Nyx. There we go. Nyx is picked up. Wouldn't be too surprised if we see the InVidious eSports go straight for that Lifestealer straight off the bat, as he's still left in that pool.
Probably a Nyx and SD combo. I'm looking to see here.
Oh, Coddle and not the Phantom Lancer.
So we got Darkseer on the safe lane.
We'll have that Coddle be running trialing, possibly be seeing the Phantom Lancer picked up if Time for Adventure do not go for it. But I wouldn't be.
I think they might pick up the Nyx here.
Yeah, go for the Nyx bombs and that Nyx assassin. Might even see a Quap come out if they do want to draft that way. Give more options to that Nyx.
10 seconds remaining.
Then you'll have to see a support Nyx if they go instead of playing in mid.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, you don't see Nyx too much these days in that mid role. We usually see him run in that tri-lane, especially if you pick up another stunner such as Lena. It usually runs very well with that Nyx assassin.
It does. Because you got the mana burn, you got the invis.
And we see the Weaver picked up. We could see him being run in this off lane. I mean, that's where you usually see him these days. You don't see him too much being supported by that tri-lane.
Because you really need the hard carry.
Yeah.
Can't really rely on Weaver getting smashed early and then.
Weaver's almost as farm dependent as Anti-Mage in my opinion. He needs too many items to be effective. Shikuchi's good early game, but he's too squishy. If a good rotation comes out by InVidious eSports, they will pick off that Weaver pretty easily.
All it takes is a good Sentry Ward and maybe Rubik Lift or someone, whoever they pick, support, just to burst them out.
Definitely. And then it would be easy to keep off the lane as well once that ward is placed. And we do see the Lena picked up. It's going to be comboing with that Nyx Assassin. The Shadow Demon been picked up by InVidious eSports. So we will be...
PL's been banned out.
That's a good ban. I'm surprised InVidious eSports didn't decide to pick up that Coddle. They would have had... Oh no, they wouldn't have had first pick. So...
Strange ban. I wouldn't have banned Alk, in my opinion, but...
What I can see in InVidious eSports, we've still got the Lifestealer left in the pool. We've got a Gyrocopter, so we've still got some fantastic carries left. Sven's going to be taken out.
And InVidious eSports still have to pick a mid hero as well, so Gyro could be a good choice.
So we do need the solid carry for Time of Adventure. They can run their Weaver mid, they can run that Nyx, so they still have their lanes pretty open at the moment, so you can't completely predict how they're going to run. So InVidious eSports are just trying to take out the overall team fight potential heroes, or even the good roaming as the Queen of Pain is.
Quite surprising seeing them ban Nyx. I'm curious what carry they'll pick now. Maybe the AM. And just nudie more game. Farm, and more farm.
And the puck is picked up by Time for Adventure. So
their lineup's pretty much sorted now. The Nyx will play the tri-lane with the Lena. Puck will be the mid, Reeve will be off lane, and then it's got to pick their carry.
And who will their carry be? That's the real question. I mean, they can go for the Luna. Luna's really strong, especially with that Eclipse. But then the Shadow Demon... Oh, we see the Luna picked up by InVidious eSports, speaking of Luna.
Oh wow, okay. And the Doom Bringer, okay. So that's going to really hurt the Nyx and the Weaver with the Doom.
And even the Shadow Fiend being able to completely ruin those...
But Shadow Fiend's still got decent right click damage to do as well, so it won't hurt him as much.
So it was a strange pickup for that Doom, but he will be very effective against this Adventure Time. And introducing the teams on the Radiant, we have for InVidious eSports, we have Tyrant running the captain's position on that Doom with those fantastic looking wings of his. Following him will be his tri-lane supports of Shadow Demon run by Xeno and that Coddle being run by Bloodlock. Finally, on the Selena, we have the entire Soviet Union. Would you like to do Adventure Time?
On the Shadow Fiend, we have Mego Llama, Mania, whatever his name is. On the Weaver, we have Lady Ranicorn. On the Nyx Assassin, we have Finn the Human. On the Puck, we have Q1 W2 Exhorts. And on the Lena, to finish it, we have Peppermint Butler.
And we could be seeing a bit of fight down here in the jungle. They did spot each other out due to that daytime vision, so I don't think too much will be going on. If Adventure Time do take a step out, we will see the disruption come out, and then the follow-up by the rest of InVidious, but they're not going to do it. They're just going to sit back, wait for that Lena to try and get in there to put a ward down, either the sentry wards on the Lena, or the actual wards of normal wards on that Nyx Assassin.
But they have to be careful as well, because there's only 3 of them and there's still 5 of InVidious eSports there.
This Darkseer will start to rotate up top, so he will be against that Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend shouldn't have too much of a hard time against that Darkseer with those razors and the right click damage he will start to pick up once he picks up those souls. In mid lane we'll have... Actually, the Darkseer is going to be running mid lane.
Darkseer mid lane, and we're going to have the Doom off lane. I know Tyrant runs a really, really strong Doombringer. I've seen him play it before, several matches. So they're going to have to be careful about that.
With some right clicks coming out by the Selena, just throwing it to the Shadow Demon, trying to force him off that range. Especially with that little bit extra attack range he does have. The Shadow Demon's only got that 500 attack range against Lena's 625. And we'll have Illuminate come flying through, but the Lena will dodge that pretty easily.
But she's still yet not to get it. They still haven't got no wards down, either team, so...
We don't see the Coddle's going to be missing out on this first stack, so that's going to be a little lost time and not going to be able to deny a creep wave against this Weaver, who does need to pick up his levels as quickly as possible, and he does take an Illuminate to the face, so does the Lena. Looking at mid lane here, we have the Darkseer against the Puck. Darkseer and the Puck, they're trading farm pretty well. They're all both sitting on 4 creep kills each. There's no real winner in the middle. We probably won't see it. I mean, Puck doesn't have too much of a kill potential against this Darkseer until around level 6, so mid lane will be pretty passive for a while.
Even then, when he's level 6, Darkseer's still got Purge to save his own life.
Yeah.
It won't be very exciting mid lane, but there'll be more mid rotating to get the ganks with the Darkseer Vacuum and the Iron Shell.
We do see this Keeper of the Light throwing down a Revelation ward down bottom, expecting Nyx Assassin to have thrown down one of those wards. However, he's gonna rotate into middle and throw it in middle, so we won't see necessarily a D ward come out by the Coddle anytime soon. It's in one of those places that you wouldn't really expect, but he did see him walk down there, so he might be lucky enough to pick off that Observer ward in due time.
We have a Observer ward for the Dire. Just looking at bot rune, I suppose. Help out Puck in mid. Puck's got a DD bottled, so there's a 2-minute rune gone.
And once again, we haven't got any stacking coming out by these supports. The Coddle has been walking around in lanes. He's not been getting the XP, so he should be stacking. I mean, he's going to throw out that sentry ward, expecting an Observer ward to be down there, but there is none. He just hasn't been stacking the pool, or he's been missing the timings and making him think that there is a ward down there. So it's one thing InVidious Gaming is lacking at the moment is their ability of stacking down this bottom lane, trying to deny it. They've got the advantage for being the Radiant with this creep pool, and especially with the Wolves, you can easily deny 1, 2, even 3 creep waves if you don't have too much harassment coming out by Adventure Time supports.
Luna really is winning the bot lane due to last hits and farm. Because
That's-
Adventure Time supports haven't been doing much to help him at all, really, besides ward.
The Lena and the Nyx Assassin combination, it's still a pretty potent combination. They've both hit level 2 now, except the Nyx Assassin did go for that Carapace. I would like to see them try and bring out an initiation onto either the Shadow Demon, the Lena, or the Coddle. Especially the Coddle. The Coddle will fall quite easily, especially if the Weaver does come through with his Shikuchi. He hasn't chosen to level up his third ability. There we go, it's picked up in Shikuchi. And he will just dodge the Lunate, come find out by the Keeper of the Light. Up at top lane, we do see Shadow Fiend. He's going to be picking up his bottle from that courier. He's currently sitting 25 with 17 denies. He's having a fantastic free farm up top here. Start to see him peak in about the 12-minute mark when he picks up his Shadow Blade at the rate he's going. Up against a Doom, he's sitting 11 for 1. He's level 4. He's not going to be able to stay in the lane for his level 5. So we do have Doom falling behind a bit. If we look in the Golden XP graft, there's still not too much difference at the moment, as both teams are relatively trading farm in either lands. What I'd like to see coming from Adventure Time, what I'd like to see from Adventure Time soon is possibly a smoke up by their two supports down on bottom lane. Try and get a smoke up and maybe rotate middle, or even try and put some pressure down on the supports, as they've got no revelation wards now, so they could rotate through the mid lane, or through the river into the mid lane, and try and find this Darkseer. If we have a pick off by the Nyx and that Light Strike away, Darkseer it will be enough damage coming out with support of that puck to finish off that Darkseer. They rotate down into this jungle here. The Coddle, he's fresh meat, walking around, fresh meat, fresh white meat.
Still yet to see any creeps stacked whatsoever. InVidious. Even see Weaver trying to engage.
We're just going
Or
to
just steal some last hits.
Shikuchi in, still that wolf. Gonna be happy with that. And there's not going to be too much of a push. Luckily, 3 of those creeps did get killed off in that camp. So there's not going to be a double creep wave pushing Adventure Time close to their tower. However, they haven't been able to control the creep equilibrium too well. When they had the creeps up here, they did push the lane, cleaned it back up, and then forced it back down to the tower. So Adventure Time not being able to hold that creep equilibrium while they had the advantage. With that creep anyway, with the creep lane.
I was expecting a more aggressive try lane from Adventure Time, but they seem to be happy just to sit there and hopefully Weaver gets as much farm as he can.
That's for sure.
And wait for a rotation.
When you see a Lena picked up, you usually expect aggressive tri-lanes, because her Light Strike Ray and Dragon Slave that comes flying through is about 300 damage, usually at level 2. It's around 300 damage, and that's enough to basically burst any hero down half health if you have a support with you, and that's usually finishing. We got a
rotation from the Lena and the Nyx, hoping to pick off the Darkseer.
Darkseer does have that level 1 surge, he's got to be ready for it, he's got the mana. And the smoke has been dispersed on this Nyx Assassin and Lena, but there's still nighttime vision, they can't see anything yet. Darkseer's just rotating back, trying to creep block a bit. He might suspect something up, as those two support heroes are now missing off the map. Doom has rotated from top lane, he's given up, and we've got the supports rotating in. They might find this Doom here. Doom's got plenty of HP and armor to sustain this. They're going to find the courier. Will they be able to have enough auto attacks to get off this courier? Now the courier's going to get away pretty fine, but they did just reveal their position. The Doom has not been retreating though, he's still standing here. Nyx Assassin's going to rotate past him. Now we're going to see an initiation onto the Lena and the Nyx Assassin. We got nice and power coming through, not doing too much damage. Weaver's missing in the action. We're going to see Luna fall to that first blood. And now we're going to see Nyx on the run. His Carapace is down. We don't have enough mana for that Lucent Burn, but his auto attacks was enough to take down that Nyx Assassin.
That was really a poor smoke by Adventure Time.
Yeah, they weren't able to find any heroes. They were rotating mid, their smoke did run off, but they still had that nighttime vision when they were sitting here. They could have easily came in and still went for that kill on that Darkseer, because if he tried to surge, you would have had enough time to get your Impale off and then follow up by a Light Strike Array. However, they decided to rotate back into the jungle. They got caught in the middle of their team, sandwiched around that creep camp, and then they just got picked off. Weaver, he can't do too much early game. Ishakuchi does limited damage for a limited amount of time.
Seemed like it was more of a lack of communication. They looked a bit confused of what they wanted to do. There's no conviction. Poor play. We still see that ward bottom.
We do finally see some stacking coming out by InVidious. I like this. Now starting to work on those stacks. Possibly because Doom's in here and they want to start getting him farmed, or they want to deny this creep wave. But they got 2 wolves if they want to quickly get rid of this next creep wave. Doom's got to be careful. Oh, never mind, he's killed off those alpha wolves. He should be fine.
Still got no regen though. He still has to be careful in case they rotate.
If we look at top lane, we have Shadow Fiend. He's got his 36 souls. He's sitting on level 9. He's got a lot of money banked up on him. He's got so many lost hits. If we look at the net worth, he is sitting 1.1k higher than this Luna just down on bottom lane. Luna, my mistake. So the Shadow Fiend, he's going to be going for his Shadow Blade. He's already picked up his Shadow Blade. He's got a full Shadow Blade already coming to him on this.
We see Coddle drop, Impale. We see Luna ulti to drop to the Sakuchi by Weaver.
So there's a good play by NT there. It looks like they got a good Impale off. Followed by... Was Lena there? I think Lena was there, wasn't she? She get picked off?
Yeah, she got picked off.
So
and then Weaver just finished it off with this Sakuchi.
So we've seen a good play there by NT, trying to take them off. Well, they do know where they rotated. They saw the Darkseer in mid. They expected, and they do have the good vision around on the tower and in the jungle, so they could fight off those heroes just lagging behind, full in open position for that stun combination coming out by that Nyx Assassin and the Lena. Back onto the Shadow Fiend though, he's ripping through the towers, he's getting the creep farms up. And he's going to be very, very strong in about the 15-minute mark. 15-minute mark, if he decides to rotate, TP in to support any of his team, those Requiem of Souls will probably demolish anyone he wants to go for. And we see a disconnection coming out by the Doom. So who do you think's in front at the moment? Looking at...
You have to say Adventure Time. But SF, they just gave him too much free farm. I reckon it was a bad choice. A really bad choice to put the Doom up against SF. He just got outright clicked, last hitted, then tried to rotate to the jungle, and there was just too much free farm. He's already got his Shadow Blade up in 11 minutes. He's almost got his treads. T1's down. And I don't think Coddle is really going to stop his farm top. Might delay the creeps a little bit, but it's still 36 souls. 160 damage.
I agree with you there. I believe they should have tried to rotate this, either rotate the tri-lane or get the Darkseer out of mid. He doesn't need those levels. He's not as level dependent as a few other of his heroes on the team. Maybe try and put that Luna in mid so she could get a bit more farm up and running. I mean, she is in 46 for 11 without too much problems down the bottom lane. But I really think they should have rotated that Darkseer out up until top lane, put the Doom even in middle. I mean, Puck can't do too much against Doom. Doom's higher base health would be able to put him pretty fine against that Puck. He would have done better than against this Shadow Fiend. Now Shadow Fiend is looking very extremely potent. When he wants to make a move, he might even see him make that move to get that level 11 up and running. If he gets that level 11, his Requiem will do 120 per soul. I believe it's per soul. So it'll be very strong in the team fights. We need to see InVidious. Oh, it's not InVidious, sorry. Yeah, it was InVidious. I'm going crazy. We do need to see InVidious try and group up and start putting some pressure on these towers. If they're just going to let Shadow Fiend free farm
we
up
have a
top...
rotation mid from Puck with a Hastrian, looking to pick one off maybe with Stream Coil. Nah, he's rotating back to mid.
Some good vision by InVidious to be able to see that rotation. But I'm really like Adventure's Time's wards at the moment. They're playing it aggressive. They've got the rune, they've got any rotation coming from one side of the jungle, the other side of the jungle, and any TP support coming in. So they've got everything. They're trying to give this Weaver as much as possible down the bottom lane and try and keep him as safe as possible. He does eventually use his salve. And speaking of Weaver, he's picked up the Medallion of Courage, and will be picking up his ring very shortly. He'll be coming in on that courier.
He's still lacking on the last hits compared to the Luna though, but SF really makes up for all that. Here we have a disruption and followed up by Lena stun, but Weaver's time lapse just stops all that. No real hassle.
Just a bit of harassment coming out by Shadow Demon. He was looking for too much. I mean, there's only a Shadow Demon and a Luna right there. He couldn't do too much against a group of 3. Their Coddle is up at top lane. Their Doom's in the jungle farming away. He's got the Devourer of the Alpha Wolf, so he can't do any stuns or slows. He's just going for that critical strike build, which in my opinion isn't the greatest at this stage. You'd want that later in the game when you have those damage. And we see... Never mind. Saw the pings go out. I thought there was a little initiation, but... No initiation. But we do see the Doom. He's got his Hand of Midas up. It's about 2 minutes over the optimal timing. You usually want it about the 10-minute mark. And we do see initiation with the Shikuchi coming through. We'll see an Impale go flying out with the Mana Burn. We'll see a dead Doom very shortly. We've got the Luna throwing out that Lucent Beam. She's now got enough to pop off that Eclipse. She gets the kill onto that... Who did she get that kill on? She got the kill on the Lena. And then we see Puck blinking in with that Dreamclaw coming through with the Orb. He silences up. They will be able to get 2 more auto attacks down onto this Lena. Lena will fall. Then we see a Vacuum coming in, killing off that Weaver. Now they're going to chase this Puck down. Puck will not get out of here alive. She does have that Orb up in 2. Can she use it? She's throwing out that Orb. She's trying to juke around. She does take off. We've got the Surge coming through with that Iron Shell on. And we've got the Blink out by the Puck. But the Light Strike Away coming through with the Dragon Slave. And now Darkseid's going to be on the run himself. He won't fall any further than he will. So we saw a 2-for-2 trade there. I would say it was more in the favour of Adventure Time, because the Luna did fall to the damage output of Adventure Time, whereas Adventure Time only lost that Weaver, who at the moment would be a semi-carry at best, is not as valuable as this Shadow Fiend, and they did lose that Lena. So, in favour of InVidious, took a good fight there, being able to take them off.
That Coddle top is really doing nothing to stop SF's farm as he's rotated to the jungle now. I would really need to gank him soon with maybe a Dust, maybe an early Gem. They really need to stop his farming or it could be too late.
His farm's getting really out of hand. He's almost got double the highest farmer on InVidious, and we see initiation down to the Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon does fall to the Puck and Lena combination. The Dreamclaw goes out into the Luna, but that's not going to they're not going to dive this on the tower, will they? They're looking at diving this tower. The Orb comes flying out. The Light Strike Away is going to miss, but the Slave will finish off. So Adventure Time finding another pickup onto this Luna. Luna's now sitting with 3 for 3. She's not having the best game at the moment. Falling those 3 times isn't going to help her out, especially up against that Shadow Fiend. The Weaver, on the other hand, he's got 4 kills and 1 death. His creep kills might not be as much as the Shadow Fiend, but those kills are definitely helping him try and keep up there. I mean, Weaver's sitting on... Weaver's got 4.6k.
Took down the Darkseid and probably the tier 1 mid.
Oh, sorry I missed that.
Doom really can't stop. They can't fight this in mid. They just have to take the tier 1.
We'll definitely be seeing this tier 1 falling very shortly. We don't have any rotation coming out by InVidious. There's no supports going down there. We've got a Shadow Demon rotating bottom, but he's not rotating mid to help out this Doom trying to defend this tower. So if he's not careful, he will fall to Adventure Time, but he's going to back rightfully so, and they're going to pick up that mid tower. So Adventure Time has now taken a pretty decent lead. They're now just over 4.5k in XP earned, due to that Shadow Fiend being able to just free farm by himself, and now due to that tower falling in mid, they're going to be close to 2k golden advantage, and we might see a push down bottom to try and get this tier 1 tower, but Adventure Time are rotating. They do have a ward here. They're going to see the invisibility of the Shadow Fiend if they are watching, but they've already backed off. They knew the rotation was coming from middle. We see the Lucent being thrown out onto the Shadow Fiend. The Illuminate is going to miss. And we've got Shadow Fiend running in that Shadow Blade with the haste. He's going to find this Doombringer. He's going to start auto-attacking him down. 1, 2. He can almost take down Doom in 6, 7 hits. That's how far ahead Shadow Fiend is at the moment with that Shadow Blade. And having a few extra stats from his Reno Aquila and his Power Treads. We might see a team fight here. We got an Iron Shell onto this Puck. That's damaging his teammates, but Puck's going to look to back. But the Shadow Fiend still wants to fight. He wants to take it, especially now that he's got that level 2 of Requiem of Souls. We see an initiation of a vacuum come up with the Illuminate hitting the Luna. Luna's going to fall with the last Lucent Beam from the Luna. Shadow Fiend's coming in, auto attacks go flying down, the orb comes flying through, finishing off that Darkseid. The Eclipse is popped, Shadow Fiend's doomed up, he's not going to be able to go invisible, he will die to the Doom. And the final auto attacks off the Luna. Luna's going to absolutely love that farm, she picked up 3 kills. It was a great fight by InVidious.
It really makes the game more even now. So it just proves that Doombringer can just destroy any hero with that ulti.
Yeah,
Shuts down many heroes.
it's a stupid ulti. I absolutely hate it. Being able to like disable items completely is just such a pain to deal with. You can't TP out of there. You can't do anything. And I think it's also got a mini stun on it. So if you doom someone while they're TPing or in a cast animation, it will just completely override it as well. So that's Doom's great here. You don't see him too much. Purely because he does eventually get up to that. He needs that farm at times. If he gets shut down early game, he'll just be slowly put behind. He doesn't have that farming capability of such as an anti-mage or a PL or even the alchemist. If he gets shut down too much, he won't be able to catch back up in that farm.
Well, we've seen with Boots of Travel. Boots of Travel could help his cause a lot.
Especially with that Boots of Travel, I think we might start seeing him catch up to Shadow Fiend in those levels. And if he gets that level 3 of Doom, anyone he goes against is dead.
We have 4 of them go into the newts, probably going to pick off the SD here. We have a Luna.
We get a disruption coming out.
SD.
The Laguna Blade destroying that Shadow Fiend. Oh, that was Coddle, not Shadow Fiend. The Laguna Blade destroying that Coddle. Coddle didn't see it coming. Innocent bystander just being hit in the face.
You probably see this tier 1 bot destroyed now as well.
We should see it. I don't think they'll be able to get it on this creep wave though. If we see any TP support coming in by InVidious or a rotation, no, it looks like they're just going to give up. They're just going to rotate mid. Doesn't look like they want to fight this bottom tower, so this bottom tower will go down to Adventure Time.
If we have a look at the net worth, we have seen Doom catch up right next to the SF, only 300 the difference.
SF is now going for his BKB. He's picked up that Ogre Club. He's got enough to pick up his Mithril Hammer, and I believe he'll be able to have his BKB in about another 1.3k. No, that's absolutely wrong math there. In about another 600, 700 gold, he will have his BKB up and running, which will neutralize a lot of the damage output coming out by InVidious. That Eclipse will be nullified, the Illuminate's going to go down, the Shadow Demon's not going to be able to get those poison off, there's no vacuum to interrupt him. The only thing that will be able to counter him right now is Doom. If Doom does not get off that, his signature move onto that Shadow Fiend will wreak havoc. It's the only reason why InVidious won that last fight, was a fantastic Doom onto that Shadow Fiend, and Shadow Fiend wasn't be able to do too much, he couldn't get away, so he did fall, and the rest of Adventure Time followed. And we see a Vendetta popped by this Nyx assassin looking to pick off someone, but those Shadow Fiend and that Nyx are able to scare off a 4-man team by InVidious. Nyx is still looking around, he's got to be careful, his Vendetta will be running in about 5 seconds, and he's going to be showing himself, and they might turn and fight him. No, he just got out of there in time. InVidious was too far behind. Now we do see a group up of the Puck and Lena in the jungle, waiting for a jump onto this Nyx or the Shadow Fiend. We got a 4v4. Where's that 5th person? There you are. We got a 5v4 fight up here. In my opinion, Adventure Time can win this fight. They do have that Shadow Fiend. If he gets doomed, they've lost this fight. It all comes down to the Doom versus Shadow Fiend. And we see Weaver pick up the bottom tower, just being able to finally get up his farm. He's picked up his ultimate orb.
Tower is under attack.
He's got his perseverance, so he should have his Lincoln Sphere up in about
Dire's
a minute and a half. He'll have his Lincoln Sphere up and running.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
We see a Puck jump in with the Dream Coil, Silence, Orb. He's going to be able to get out of there. Laguna Blade come flying through. The Doom will fall. The Eclipse comes down, not being able to kill anyone off. We've got a Disruption out onto that Nyx. We see another Light Strike away. Shadow Demon will fall. Now Doom's back in the action. He got pulled back in by the Coddle. He picks off that Shadow Fiend. Now he's going to be on the run. The Impale is going to whiff. We see a buyback by Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend's going to jump mid and just try and push that tower with his Weaver, who's still down there fighting. Well, pushing that tower. Still gaining as much gold and XP as he can. Up at top lane, we see a great Impale coming out into that Coddle. Coddle will fall. Light Strike Array hits onto the Doom. Now Doom's going to turn around. He's going to be silenced. He's not going to be able to kill off that Nyx. He turns around and hits that Puck in the face, and the Puck will fall. Now he's going to be rotating into this forest, trying to find this Nyx assassin. He gets that Doom off. Oh, not Doom off, sorry. He gets that. What's that number? Level Death. And then he just auto attacks that Nyx down. And Lena's not going to be able to get that last auto attack off to finish off the Doom, but we do see a Shikuchi followed in by that Gemini. Just great disruption coming out by the Shadow Demon, and he's just got to get out of there. That was a fantastic play, that Shadow Demon, to keep his Doom in the game, to keep their team still running.
Adventure Time are really dominating this match with the farm. They've got so many tier 2s, both bot and mid lane and top lane. They've got no towers. I think it's up to InVidious just to turtle this one and try to get that Doom as much farm as possible.
I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised if we see Adventure Time. I almost keep saying AT&T. I'm not even American, I'm talking about their ISP. Adventure Time, we might see them rotate towards this Roshan soon. They do have the map control. Most of the lanes are pushed in, so they could probably get almost a free Roshan here, especially as InVidious do not have any wards currently up on the map, and we do see them start rotating into the Roshan to start fighting it. I don't think they have enough damage or the tanking ability with these three heroes here right now. We do see InVidious, they're coming over to check. No, they're not. They're just going to keep farming up. So we will see a Roshan should fall to Adventure Time without too much trouble, as InVidious are trying to get their farm up. You see the Luna. She's picked up her BKB, she's got her drums, so at least she'll be able to stand in the next fight. She'll be able to pop that BKB, get a full Eclipse off, possibly take out Lena, maybe even Nyx if she's lucky. We do see Puck. Wait, who picked up the Aegis? Who's got the Aegis?
Shadowfiend did.
Okay, Shadowfiend's got the Aegis. So Shadowfiend...
Which is a logical decision.
That's for sure. If Shadow Demon comes in... No, Shadowfiend, not Shadow Demon. If Shadowfiend comes in, he should be able to take a lot of damage. He's got a Shadow Blade coming up right now. He's going to come in. They've got no Revelation down. He's going to start auto-attacking this Luna. Luna's just not going to take too much damage. We see a Disruption come out. BKB with the Requiem, sorry, comes out. The Eclipse comes flying through. She does pick off two heroes with that Eclipse. Now we're seeing a man fight up between the Shadowfiend with great Impale coming out by this Nyx Assassin, being able to pick off the final Doom. And this looks like a tier 3 tower. Keeper of the Light does pop that Aegis, so that's a little bit of a wasted Aegis there. So they might not get this tier 3 tower now. That Great Illuminate popped that Aegis and they're just going to back. They've probably wasted that opportunity to get that tier 3 tower. It would have been nice if we saw an urn from that Nyx popped onto that Shadow Fiend, so they could have just kept going. However, now he's out of position. If they do try and catch him out here, he's all alone. However, we don't have any Revelation by InVidious. This Doom, now looking at this Doom, he's got his Sanjay up, he's got his Vladimir's offering, so he's going for those low cost items, trying to get as much value he can at the moment, because his farm, he's sitting just under 10k worth, Weaver's just over 10k, and the Shadow Fiend skyrocketing out ahead with the 1300. At the way things are going, AT&T, they haven't started a snowball yet, but if InVidious make one wrong move, they lose one team fight on their side of the river, there's a tower's going down. One of the tier 3 towers will be fallen, and then that could possibly be game.
Mid-racks.
Mm.
They really got to drag this out. InVidious, they've just got to drag it for as long as they can. Try to get the Luna as much farm as possible and the Doom to catch up.
If InVidious do pull this out as long as possible, we see Puck jumping in, but not going to do too much with that. But you're right, with InVidious, if they can pull this game out late, they will win it. They need as much farm. This Luna, if she with equal amount of farm or even more farm in the late game, she'll be more effective than the Shadow Fiend. And also with this Doom, he gets really strong, really tanky. He's got a good amount of armor and stats gain. If he's into the late game as well, he'll be more effective than this Weaver. So if InVidious can pull this out late game, they still do have a shot. We see a vacuum into Illuminate, just doing half of Shadow Fiend's health. So that might force them to retreat. If there's a Nyx around, pop the urn up on him. And Shadow Fiend does pick up that Yoshi for the extra movement speed and attack. We'll be seeing him most likely turn that into a Manta. Or he might just be picking up the Yoshi for now. We see a ward placed on the hill. So they do know where they currently sit in. And if we look at buyback status, Shadow Fiend and Weaver are the only ones with buyback here. Luna's just picked up her buyback, so if Luna does fall, she will be able to buy back. This Doom, though, he's not in a good position. He just needs to get one more creep kill, and he does have his buyback. There we go, he's got his buyback ready. We'll come down to this fight and the buybacks. If Shadow Fiend can get doomed, Adventure Time will lose this. We'll lose this fight, and then we might see a push down middle.
By Lena. See a counter ward up in the high ground by Lena.
Good ward, trying to keep that vision out of sight for InVidious, because they're currently lacking on vision. If you look at them at the moment, they've got no vision on the map. They don't know where they are. They definitely don't know where the Shadow Fiend is. Shadow Fiend could just be around the corner for all they're worth, for all they know. So they're not they can't leave the base. If they leave the base, well, at any moment they could just be demolished by that Requiem of Souls, which he's now got level 3. This Darkseer, he's picked up a pipe, so that's some good 400 magic damage for the rest of his team. Being able to negate 1, possibly 2 spells from Adventure Time, it's going to help quite a lot for that survivability. Do we have a mech up and running? Yeah, we do have a mech.
On the Coddle? Yes, on the Coddle.
Sweet, so they do have their heals.
I reckon this game would have went much different. I reckon it's poor choice by InVidious with their lane selection. It would have been much safer to put the Darkseer top, put the Luna mid, and let the Doom go mostly hard carry.
As you said, it all came down to the way they laned. They should have done a rotation, they should have done it early. They let this Doom get completely harassed, and he got pushed out of the lane. He had to rotate into the jungle, giving Shadow Fiend complete free farm. We didn't see any rotation by the supports of InVidious to try and slow that down, or to harass him a bit. We just saw free farm onto that Shadow Fiend. If you have a Shadow Fiend, you want to try lane against him. A Weaver, sure, he's good, but he's not as good as a Shadow Fiend when those items are coming up. Weaver, also they weren't as aggressive onto the Weaver as they should have been. I mean, Weaver's only got 1 death to his name. That's not what you want to see. Especially with a Weaver, he's got that low health pool in the start of the game. 1 counter ward, as you said. 1 counter ward, Revelation ward, and he's out of the game. However, now they might find him here in the mid lane. He doesn't have a Shikuchi. The Lincolns will pop, but he's just gonna Shikuchi away. We're gonna see a turnaround. We might see a dead Doom and Darkseer here. We got a Light Striker away. It's missing. Laguna's gonna hit. Slave's gonna come flying through. Doom's turning around trying to fight this up. The wall's been popped. Doom out onto that Weaver. Weaver will probably fall to this Darkseer. Doom is still chasing down to the Selena. Doom's got to be very careful. He gets hit by 1 move. He will fall. Puck just finished off this Weaver. And now they're gonna look to this Nyx, who's stuck in between those creeps. That poor Beetle. Cornered on the side. And now we've got Darkseer chasing down this Puck. Puck's gonna jump into that orb and be able to TP straight away. Puck didn't chain up that TP, not the TP, the blink, so Puck will fall. Usually what you want to do, if you do have to go into that phase shift, you want to shift and queue up your blink dagger. If you don't queue it up, you get hit by a tick of that dagger, by the iron shell or anything else in the meantime, and you won't be able to get it off. So we see a little bit of misplay coming out by the Puck there, giving a kill away to that Darkseer. Down on bottom lane we see a Shadow Fiend coming in. He doesn't have enough mana to reckon himself, so he's going to try and pick off this Keeper of the Light. It's auto-attacking Luna. Luna could have turned around and easily picked off the Shadow Fiend with that Shadow Blade down. Didn't have enough mana to do anything else, the Shadow Fiend. So, unfortunately, Luna wasn't paying too much. Just got scared off the lane. Coddle was in support. He had that mech up, so if anything did start to happen to either of them, he could have mech'd him up for an extra auto-attack or two from the Shadow Fiend.
I think they didn't engage because they have no vision.
Ah, good point. They've got no ward, so they didn't know what was coming at them. Another thing I would have liked to see consistently throughout this game for InVidious would have been stacking. Stacking would have helped this Doom and their Luna accelerate their farm throughout this game. Like, we saw a few camps pulled, maybe 2, 3 at most camps have been stacked this game for InVidious. If you're running that tri-lane and you don't have your supports doing anything, they should be stacking. They should always be stacking. Especially once Doom rotated into that jungle, they should have kept trying to stack as many camps they could for him to try and keep his farm on par with their Shadow Fiend. However, Doom just didn't get that gold he needed. He does have that Heaven's Halberd up at the moment, so he will be able to maim the Shadow Fiend. However, the Shadow Fiend will just BKB up. BKB that off. So the only problem with the maim with that Heaven's Halberd is it can be easily dispelled from that Shadow Fiend, and the Shadow Fiend is not going to be able to see this Doom. The night vision was too small for either of them. But we see Doom turn around. He might get this Doom off. Will he get the Doom off? He gets the Doom off, but Shadow Fiend's already doomed up, and Doom's going to go the wrong way, so he's not going to find that Shadow Fiend.
They have an interesting item choice on the Nyx Assassin with a Blink Dagger.
Ooh. So that would be some good initiation by Nyx there. As AT Adventure Time, they have their Puck to jump in, and if they have a Nyx following it up, there's a Silence and an Impale ready to hit out. On 2, 3, fantastic Impale, maybe get 4 heroes. But we do see that good initiation build coming out by the Nyx. We'll see if it works out in the next fight, or if he jumps in and just gets completely demolished. Sometimes you see that, and it's not a pretty sight.
We see Roche coming back up in about 5 seconds, which I think they know. Maybe they've been waiting for that the whole time to get Shadow Fiend another Aegis, then try to push the mid racks or the bottom racks.
We do see Weaver. Weaver's almost got his BKB up and running. He's got the Ogre Club and Mithril Hammer sitting in that stash. So he just needs another 600 gold, and he will have that BKB up and running. Once he has that BKB up, Weaver's going to be virtually impossible to kill. Especially with that Lincoln Sphere and his time lapse. Weaver will be virtually impossible to kill for probably the 2 or 3 fights or charges of that BKB. And now we're going to see Adventure Time start to group up, push out these lanes a bit, and then start sieging these towers. They have the Aegis again, start sieging the tower. Hopefully Shadow Fiend doesn't run up and just pop the Aegis again like he did last time, getting hit by that Illuminate by that Keeper of the Light. So now we come down to the waiting game, just waiting for Adventure Time to make their move, and it looks like they're thinking about starting making that move at the moment. But Darkseer is just sitting on the ward, so they can see him here. We do have a nice ward up for InVidious being able to spot that heal, being able to see a little bit of their jungle, see if there's any ganks coming around. They've got a Revelation up there too.
We see the Darkseer being picked off by the Nyx and the Puck combination with a good Impale, the Warning Rift, and Illusionary Orb. Too much burst damage, he falls.
Darkseer just overextending a little bit.
We just see the Shadow Fiend not having a care in the world, walking around, farming everything he sees.
He's now got that Daedalus picked up on him too, so he's going to be hitting hard. We really need to see that Doom popped on him, and then even the Maim afterwards. If he gets that Doom and Maim off onto that Shadow Fiend's going to be virtually useless for 3 seconds. Especially with Doom. Doom is like one of those moves where it's just like, you get hit by it, your first instinct's to run. You don't want to man fight, you don't want to stay and fight. Your instincts with Doom is to run because you're thinking, oh shit, I've just been doomed, I need to get out of here. So, getting close.
Doom has now picked up his BKB. I know he's had the BKB for a long time, hasn't he?
Who was that, sorry?
Has Doom had the BKB? Yes.
I think... No, Doom must have only just picked that up. He's still got the 10-second duration on it. And we see the right clicks taking down the Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon's not dead yet. Requiem of Souls will take off the Shadow Demon. The Aegis might be popped very shortly onto the Shadow Fiend. Doom is going to get auto-attacked down, gets critted. He's going to fall. The Eclipse has come flying out. It's not going to be able to finish off that Nyx. They still haven't killed anyone yet. There's 3 dead for InVidious. Adventure Time are diving in on the tower. We might see the final attack with the Gemini kill for the Darkseid. Not going to happen. The Lucent Beam's not going to be able to hit off onto that Weaver. Weaver will time-ups out. Puck will get the final silence and orb kill onto that Darkseid. And now Luna, she can't do too much. We're going to see a dead tower, dead Rex, and possibly a dead game for InVidious right here.
The difference in the game is, look at the items the Weaver has compared to the Luna. He's been out-farmed. They've just had, InVidious had no rotations. It's looked like they've tried to turtle the whole game and just hasn't worked at all. It all comes down to the lane choice. I don't reckon the Doom should have went top lane.
Yeah, it all came down to the laning phase for InVidious. They needed to be more aggressive on their bottom lanes. Since they weren't aggressive, they needed to rotate out and even switch up their lanes a bit to try and counter Adventure Time's lanes. However, they didn't do that, so they lost 2 of their lanes. I think Darkseid fairly went even with the puck. So Adventure Time won 2 lanes, evened middle lane, and were just able to snowball as there was no harassment onto that Shadow Fiend. And a Shadow Fiend that doesn't get any harassment, he can farm like crazy. He's probably, I'd say, the 3rd or 4th best farmer in the game behind PL, Gyrocopter, and that anti-mage. And so he's just been able to enjoy his game. He's enjoying life at the moment. He's got 367 creep kills. He's sitting on 23k net worth. That's a lot for a 39-minute game. And I think we may have a little bit of miscommunication come out on InVidious. We have Shadow Demon working towards that mech. They've already got a mech up on that Coddle, so that could be... yeah... Unless he's not going to be moving his buckler and headdress into anything, he's given that little bit of extra stats off, a little regen. But we could have had a little bit of miscommunication.
This late in the game, it's not going to make much difference.
But it just shows you one of those things InVidious need to work on. They just need to communicate a bit more and just think about the game as a whole. They weren't thinking of the lane composition. They thought of it at the start, but they didn't want to rotate. They need to see what's going to be more beneficial. They need to pick up on when to start moving things out, and we'll start seeing them be quite a lot more competent in their games. Whereas Adventure Time, they knew when to. They had the free farm. They had the rotation of that. They tried with the Luna and the Nyx. They didn't find anything, but then they tried again a bit later. They caught out the Doom. They did get picked off, but at least with Adventure Time, they were trying to find those kills. They were trying to break up InVidious. InVidious had to rotate heroes down, lose that farm on the top lane and mid lane to try and help, and they only picked off a support down in the bottom lane. Well, whereas they were losing a lot of gold and XP from those other lanes while they were trying to rotate down to save that Doom's life.
There's almost 30k difference in XP earned in 40 minutes. That is a really, really big amount.
It's almost a 10. That's about 7k XP every minute. They're just, well, not every minute, every 10 minutes they're gaining. So it's the snowball has started. It's been started for a while, ever since they just kept leaving that Shadow Fiend. InVidious Gaming, InVidious eSports, sorry. They had this game turning around. They were coming back into it. They started to work together a bit, and then they just dropped the ball again, and they just let Adventure Time walk over them. And now, if you look at the Adventure Time, you can just see, even though they've got a very solid landing, they're still trying to put the hurt on. They've still got wards watching everything. So they can see the smoke up. I believe that ward can almost see into their base. See a little bit into their base. So they can almost see the smokes. They've got the entire map under control, and I don't see them losing it anytime soon. InVidious Gaming, unfortunately, they won't be able to turn this game around unless Doom picks up Divine Rapier and just starts drilling AT&T down. AT&T. Adventure Time down.
It's a really risky move to get a rapier. I don't reckon he'd be able to farm it in time before they pick off another axe.
And now sit down in the bottom lane, we do almost see an initiation onto this Luna. Shadowfiend was contemplating it. He doesn't have his Aegis. He's very low on health and mana. He now has his butterfly up and running. So he's feeling like he's on top of the world. He feels like a god. He's playing like a god. Playing very, very an aggressive spot. If InVidious wanted to, they could almost pick him off, but they don't have any stuns. That's actually another major thing about this InVidious lineup, is they're lacking on stuns. They've got a Doom, they've got a Vacuum, they've got the mini stun onto that Luna, but they don't have any proper stuns. They don't have an Impale, they don't have a Dream Coil for that mini stun and held in place. They don't have that Light Striker away. InVidious, they've been lacking on stuns. They won't be able to hold this Shadow Fiend down in the fight. And now we're going to possibly see a push down onto this bottom tower, unless they're going to be waiting for that Roshan again, which Roshan will spawn in about 1.5 minutes. Luna come flying out, trying to keep them off the tower. Shadowfinch just burst in that tower, but now they're just going to back it off. If we saw a Doom come out then, we could have seen a dead Shadowfiend, and possibly maybe a good fight for InVidious. Would have been a good time to jump onto him, but they're not going to take the opportunity. They're afraid. They are behind. They're playing. They're not trying to go for those risks anymore. And now they're just playing. They're playing behind, going further behind.
1 minute till the Roche is up. I don't know who's going to take it this time. You would say Shadowfiend is pretty much itemed out. Maybe the Weaver might pick it up.
It'd be a good choice to pick it up on that Weaver. I mean, Shadowfiend I can't see dying anytime soon. We will see a cheese dropped. I believe this is the 3rd token, so we'll see a cheese dropped on this one. Who will pick up that cheese? Is the question everyone wants to know. They all sit there waiting. I think they probably lost count of the Roshan timer almost, and now they're just waiting for it to sometime appear around there. I mean, they're huddled up as a group of 3. Well, Shadowfiend just continues on farming. Sitting on 462 creep kills. What's his GPM? I'm curious. His GPM's at almost 700 GPM. And Roshan spawns.
I think InVidious are going to engage with the smoke.
Oh, it was a good fight by InVidious if they can come out. The cheese is still on the ground. Cheese hasn't been picked up. We see a Illuminate come flying out. Eclipse is popped. It's been able to take down to the Shadowfiend. Shadowfiend does fall. We see a death from the Coddle and Darkseid. There's buyback from the Shadowfiend trying to get back into action. We see another buyback from that Puck to come back in. And we're going to see Luna will pick off that Luna. And now Weaver has got a time lapse. We're going to have Puck come straight back in. The gem has been dropped on the ground. The Impale's going to miss from that Nyx Assassin. We see Blink in. Luna, will she fall? She's got 2 more auto attacks with the Gemini that's going to come in. She will fall. And now we got Doom caught out of position. He's got the cheese up and running, but I don't think he'll be able to get it off in time. He's going to fall. He's not even going to be able to get his cheese off. That does force a buyback out of him. Luna does not have a buyback. She's 160 gold off that buyback. So, if Adventure Time wants to, they could probably push in here and take this for the win. It was a great smoke up by InVidious to be able to catch him into that Roche pit. The Eclipse popped off by the Luna, completely decimated Shadowfiend because he was doomed. So he couldn't do anything. He couldn't BKB. He couldn't go into his non-existent Shadowblade. He doesn't have a Shadowblade anymore. He went for that lifesteal.
We see a Rapier picked up on the Weaver.
That we do. Jesus.
A really big play. It could backfire if InVidious pulls something out of... They really have to pull something out of their ass here.
We see a disruption coming onto the Shadowfiend. Requiem of Souls come flying through. It's not going to do too much damage. The Coddle will fall though. And we get the Darkseid standing in the middle. The wall's not going to be able to get on that Shadowfiend where you want it. Shadowfiend is standing there. He's still fighting. He's almost dead. He'll get that final raise onto that Ethereal Blade. Oh, not Ethereal Blade. Ghost Bladed Doom. And now, that's game. Great play by Adventure Time.
We'll see the GG called.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Now we just see tornadoes flying everywhere. Now just Puck just being a complete nuisance. He's going to be able to get away. Even that last Lucent Beam's not going to be able to finish off that Puck.
Fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower.
We see a very weird item build for the Nyx assassin with the Ethanol blade.
Radiant's ancient is under attack.
Maybe to get more burst damage. We see the Luna fall, just too much right click damage.
Radiant's ancient is under attack.
And then we're just constantly just seeing a bit more fountain dive here, and there goes the Ancient. And now, Adventure Time, they've just taken the spot on 29th on the Cybergamer Ladder. They've beaten InVidious eSports, and they'll be looking to continue moving their way up the Cybergamer Ladder. I'd like to thank you, Ventura, for joining me on this Dota cast. Hope you had fun.
Always welcome.
And thank you, viewers at home, and have a good one.